Wouldst thou like to live deliciously?
Solitus tuo, usuncarum, ungularum, delectatque contremescit me. Intra, intro.
You know how dicks work?
No.
You draw out a line of I don't know, maybe you fucking cap it like a garden hose when you're trying to get a drink.
Hey, Elmers. It's 13th Elm. It's Rob. It's Bill. It's Mykel. Say hi, guys.
What's going on?
Back at it again.
Yes, sir. And you know what we do here at 13th Elm? We watch a movie. We talk about it. You love our opinions. That's why you tune in. So we're going to give you
We stay on topic.
all the time. You want to chime in here?
Yeah, I was just going to say, actually, when I was driving over here, I was looking at something else that I could talk about.
Riveting.
If you guys wanted to.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, well, there's a new subdivision that went up a couple blocks from here. I was thinking that maybe we could all move in and then rent it out to the Elmers, because we're like kind of
Have an Elmer
influencers.
safe space.
Yeah, we're like kind of influencers now, and I think that would be cool if we had like the influencer house and like we broadcasted that shit on YouTube and like
TikTok,
Stitcher.
Yeah, definitely. So we should be landlords for our fans.
Well, I mean,
Or would
I
we,
think
would we
that
live there too? Would we?
It's up to us.
Like a
Initially,
boarding house?
we might live there, but like I think landlord is more appropriate than like. I think it's just more appropriate than other titles I could have.
they'd be locked in, right? Like they wouldn't be able
For
to
life?
leave.
Hey, 13th and Elm, the nation out there, the universe, Elmers, if you're listening, just let us know in the comments below if you're sub or dom, and that'll sort this out. We could figure out who's at the top of the list.
Well, if you're just down to get locked in a apartment.
Oh, yeah. We got cattle prods and handcuffs and guns. Honestly, I'm going to kill you. So just move in.
It sounds like an escape room that you don't get out of.
So what did we watch this week?
Yeah, we watched Near Dark.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 1987. Lance Henriksen. Directed by Kathryn Bigelow.
She's a very accomplished director.
And budget $5 million, and it did not even make that back. It was kind of a flop.
Shocker.
It came out against other things, and if I had working internet, I could tell you, but
it came out in like October of 87 too, and they're like 87's a strong year for horror.
Well, and just film in general. I want to know if we can pull it up. We'll get to it in a minute. I'm just trying to connect to the internet still, but if I could tell us what it opened against.
Unless you get your dicks out for dinner, you're not connecting to that internet.
Is it like a very specific like one movie that came out like would have been in theaters at the same time, or are you just thinking the same year?
Nightmare 2?
I think it was like the same time, like same weekend. It opened against a couple different movies.
The Lost Boys, Evil Dead 2, Hellraiser.
That's got to be the year, not the weekend. Well, it's October though.
Yeah, this is just a year.
But it is October, and I do think it opened against Lost Boys, which I think if it didn't...
Nightmare 3.
Spoiler alert, Lost Boys is the better version of this movie.
Dude, that's so fucking like unfair, because you could say that about almost anything
movie.
Almost anything you could directly compare to Lost Boys, and like Lost Boys is better. Like Lost Boys is
This has a lot in common, right?
It's so different though too.
The feel of this movie, the general vibe, like grungy, Southwest punk rocker kind of.
I mean, there's nothing Southwest about Lost Boys. It's like
rural,
Santa Monica,
I guess, rural. Like, cause they like live out like on the beach and shit, right?
I mean, that's not no. Like Lost Boys, I think is actually it takes place in like either like it's a fictional city in the movie, but it's either like Santa Cruz or it's like a major boardwalk town. Like it's not Venice Beach. I think it is Santa Cruz, to be honest.
But a few years.
Yeah, but I mean, this movie, it's the same year. It's the same zeitgeist and pop culture influences. there are some of the common themes. This movie doesn't say the word vampire at all at any point. And I think Lost Boys just kind of digs in a little deeper to its own self-awareness. And they're both sexy, but like Lost Boys is super sexy, right?
Lost Boys isn't like mostly a love story either.
I mean, kind of is.
This one is.
This is like a love story between vampires, and the other one is like your typical vampire love story.
It's the love story that's in a vampire movie. But yeah, this movie, wow. It starts off with farm boy Caleb, like outside drinking beers with his buddies. What time is it? Like midnight, probably. And there's a girl on the curb eating an ice cream cone.
Yeah, she looks like a child.
She does. She looks like she's like 14. And he goes over and is really aggressive with his approach. He's circling around her like a shark. It's a little unsettling. But, you know, it was the 80s, so that was accepted or commonplace.
Yeah.
I don't know about accepted. It was commonplace. And she's kind of into it. She's not like all over, like head over heels, but she needs like a ride back, and he's going her way or whatever. And they stop at like an oil field or something.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I don't remember the beginning.
Oh no!
to be honest.
They stop at. He like brings her to like his farm, and it's very late at night, and it like has like a horse, and he's gonna like show off his roping skills, and the horse is freaking the fuck out.
He does not like the new person. May.
And May's like, horses don't like me. He's like, why? He's like, they just don't.
It's like, I can see that.
Because it knows. The animals always know.
And
Animals always know.
Then she starts freaking about what time it is, and is like, I got to get home now. So he speed drives her home mile. They drive the rest of the night? Who knows?
I mean, it's pretty close to dawn. That's why she's got to go home.
It is, yeah. I mean, it's light.
And then
It's
he
light out.
starts, saying, yeah, I'll get you there. And then he just stops in the middle of the road and does some super fucking sleazeball creeper, I'm going to just say rapist shit, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
He stops in the middle of the road. This is the second time he stops in the middle of the road driving and tells her that he will take her home if she kisses him.
I'm just asking for a little sugar, baby. Ain't nothing going to hurt you. What?
Oh, it's because, you want to get home because daddy's, because, I'll explain it to your daddy. Don't worry about that.
I'll tell daddy the car broke down. Oh, yeah, because no fucking father with a 22-year-old daughter, 18-year-old daughter has ever heard that line from some fucking sleazeball hick walking in with starched fucking scotch guarded jeans.
Scotch guarded jeans.
Like, this motherfucker is sitting here. He's redlined.
He's Marlboro Man. He's dressed like the Marlboro Man. He has deerskin leather gloves. He has a hat. He's got his Wranglers on.
He smells like Pace Picante.
He smells like
Marlboro Reds.
And Marlboro Reds.
Hell yeah.
And rape. And and eventually she just like decides to kiss him and then bites him. And
She bleeds him.
And then she gets out and starts running like a track star all the way home.
Yeah.
He tries to chase after her, and she's like fucking gone. And then he's trying to stumble home, like
because his car doesn't start.
Yeah, his truck won't start. And this actually, I like this visual, the scene that comes like immediately after this, where he's like walking through all these fallow fields that are like sunburnt and like drought, and he's burning and smoking and everything.
It was kind of cool, but it was kind of goofy at the same time.
It gets goofier the more you see the effect.
Do you think it was goofy because it was 1987 and it was like, it looks goofy now? Or like, do you think the concept was goofy? Like, if you were to read that scene in a graphic novel, would it be as
Probably
silly?
just because it was in 87. I think back then, I'm sure it was fucking cool. And like you said, in a graphic novel, played a little bit better, but I thought it was kind of goofy. I mean, it didn't like throw me off, but probably giggled at that a little bit. Just running through the field, like smoking.
I liked it. I
didn't hate it.
I love vampire lore, so I'm very invested in like how these vampires work and what kind of vampires they are, and even if they're not called vampires.
Well, I mean,
So
do
like,
you call yourself a human being in the course of a day? Like, they're definitely vampires. The word vampire is just
mean,
never said.
this is a movie. Like, people don't just say stuff that they say in normal life.
Sure.
Like, was that done on purpose that they never used the word vampire?
I mean, I
Definitely.
believe
Well,
Mykel.
why? Do you think just for something different, or just
it's art. I mean,
Yeah.
that's not my exact take on it. I'm just saying, like,
Bram Stoker's estate is like very litigious at the time, so they didn't want to, cross those lines.
and also,
vampires trademarked?
Yep.
also though, like, what else? If Lost Boys was coming out that same summer, obviously the script would have been written, or like same fall, the script would have been written, whatever. But like, I don't know, maybe they just didn't want to double down on that because like you just had The Hunger, you had Vamp, you had X amount. How many vampire movies come out in the fucking mid to late 80s?
A lot.
Exactly. Yeah, I know. I'm looking right at him. He's just a lot. But yeah,
Maybe
maybe
they had
Fright
it.
Night.
Maybe they had it in there and they just did like a search and replace in the script, and they were like, just take out vampire and just put in a little boner and it'll be fine.
yeah.
Curiously absent from the script is the phrase "little boner."
Not absent from this room though. Let's keep going.
Yep. Back to the movie. Yeah. They're kind of like road warrior people. Like, they're not dressed in football gear with feathers and stuff, but their whole demeanor, they're like weird. The vampires are like weird street people that live in caravans and burn them down once a week. Named like Diamondback and Homer, and like what?
They seem like a band that I would pay $10 to go see, and they're on tour.
They're way too clean to be a band that you would pay $10 to see.
I don't know about that. They didn't seem very clean.
I know.
Okay, this whole movie, watching this movie, I was like, oh man, I want to see Rob Zombie remake this movie. Like, super brutal and gross.
Yeah.
Didn't it kind of feel like something he would do, like his forte, like this whole aesthetic?
I mean, I could see that.
Could you see Sherry Moon as Diamondback?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
She would have played it well.
She would have gone crazy. A lot of people don't like her, not just because she's like Rob Zombie's wife and gets typecast and shit, but like I've heard a lot of like horror fans that just really don't like her acting.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen
which
that
I
too,
can
and
get. Like, I understand if it's not your thing, especially if you're not into the genre. But like, if you're a genre fan, like she plays a fucking lunatic really, really well. Like
Oh no, I totally
I think
agree. She's
kills
awesome
it.
in Devil's
Like,
Rejects.
Yeah, Baby
She's
is
terrifying.
horrifying. We'll see what she brings to Monsters.
Yeah, it's true.
It's gonna
Yeah.
be like not horrifying. It's not gonna be like brutal. It's gonna be like a family film.
Yeah, I think you got a
Should be
PG
interesting.
rating.
Yeah, we got my man Jorge Garcia and Cassandra Peterson in there, so you know I'm gonna see it.
Mm-hmm. We'll probably see it together.
Probably. Elvira, if you're listening, you're the mistress of the dark.
Queen of the Damned.
Mm-hmm.
Like the like the horror version of Dolly Parton. She's great.
Oh my God, she's yours cruelly. We could do this all night, but we're not going to.
But that's not the movie we watched. Any of those things or those people. Not in this movie.
No.
You know who is in this movie though?
Bill
Who?
Paxton.
Bill Paxton.
Isn't he
And he's
sexy?
great.
Bill Paxton kills it in this movie. He's sexy, but also he's fucking brutal.
He is brutal.
Yeah, he's definitely like the wild card of the group.
Mm-hmm.
And we
He's a
do
lot
get
of
that.
fun.
We do get that bar scene relatively early.
Which
That
is
shit's
good.
badass.
Which is
honestly.
the best scene
Might be
in the movie.
I was gonna say it could be the best scene in the movie, but I think
It's
you
the
agree
best
it is
scene
the
in the
best scene in the movie.
It's definitely the best scene in the movie. We get some good kills in there.
It is good.
Bill
Some
Paxton
good
is going
lines,
fucking crazy.
Bill Paxton's like a real piece of shit in that. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
some of the shit he says, he's like torturous and like sadistic. And he's
Yeah,
got a
he's
horrible
great.
name though, Severin.
Severin.
Yeah. Him and Severus Snape were brothers.
Please, if you're out there listening,
That
make
makes
that
sense.
fan fiction. I would read the shit out of that.
He is great, and like insults used to be so much cooler back in the day. I don't know. I feel like watching older movies, I see that a lot. I don't know. It's good. It's a good repartee between the two of them.
Between Severance and
The bar goer, I guess.
the
Yeah.
patron.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I like just how he was like,
Hey, the man.
yeah, exactly. He's like, that'll be a double of whatever piss swill you're serving these eggheads or some shit like that. You know
I
what I
don't know
mean?
if these is eggheads, but yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and they fucked him up. I mean, this movie. Okay, so
Wait.
what's the main character's name?
Caleb,
Caleb
the 17-year-old rapey farm boy.
stumbles back to the farm and then gets abducted by the caravan of traveling vampires. And so his younger sister and his dad see this and they think, we got to find our...
They see him like 20 yards away from them, like stumbling on fire, basically. And they're
He's
just like...
smoldering.
They're like inoculating a sheep. And he's like, oh, there, Caleb. It looks kind of sick.
Inoculating or inseminating?
I think he was inoculating it because he was given a shot, right?
It was a shot like in the rump. It wasn't the honey hole.
No. Well, you can inseminate a rump.
I won't talk about that.
Yeah,
Not allowed.
Where do you go from there? Deeper.
They abduct him and they're gonna kill him. Bill Paxton's gonna kill him. What's his name? Severin's gonna kill him, and then May lets on that she bit him but didn't bleed him out.
She didn't drink.
So
She bled him, but she didn't drink.
He done been turned. And
Then we meet the rest of the gang.
Lance Henriksen wearing his crazy like steampunk goggles with a bird beak nose on them.
He was good in
That
this.
was cool. He's
I
good
liked
in this.
Lance
He is
Henriksen
great.
in this.
I got like big like Anton Chigurh vibes from him, kind of.
I feel like you've thrown that out like 2 weeks in a row.
Have I?
It couldn't have been last week. It couldn't have been fucking Astro Monster.
No, I don't think
But
so.
maybe it was Benny.
Maybe.
I feel like you said something about Anton Chigurh. So maybe you just got Javier Bardem on the brain.
Wait, I
Maybe.
feel like I talked about him.
I feel like we all talk about him. Such
We
a babe,
do.
right? That haircut.
We do. Yeah, because that's how it came up, is that I think he's sexier with that haircut than his normal haircut.
Also,
His, like,
not
his
in this
helmet.
movie.
Yeah, well, I mean, like I said at the beginning, we stay on track.
People tune in to hear the sweet, chocolatey
Um,
sounds of Rob's voice,
Oh, they
not to
definitely-
get the plot summary.
No.
But yeah, we meet the gang, Lance and Diamondback, who is a woman.
That's an accurate statement.
And Homer,
And I'm trying to and the little boy, the
yeah.
little boner.
who's old, but he's
he's
a child.
You know, he's a foul-mouthed child who's like,
which is fine.
And he goes
80.
up and grabs Caleb
Oh.
straight by the dick.
Oh,
that's-
yeah, that was
yeah.
intense.
Oh, that was tight.
because he is like what, a 13-year-old
Oh,
Body.
actor, like child actor.
Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah, yeah.
13, yeah.
And this guy, he walks up to him and he starts talking shit. He's like, "Don't you?" I don't know what the line is. But he says something crass and he
"My
grabs him
name's
straight by
Homer,
the dick.
don't mispronounce it."
Homer.
Which is not like a hard name to pronounce. How would you even mispronounce that?
The whole time he's got
Homer.
him fucking.
Homer.
He's got him fucking.
Twig
by
and
the
berries.
New Jersey fucking
Yeah.
meat hook, like he's holding a bowling ball.
Yeah, he could castrate him easily.
Oh, he's got that super strength.
He does. He has the vampire super strength or the whatever creatures.
They are vampires.
They are vampires.
They're vampires.
Yeah.
And they're on the run, and they stop at a motel.
They also like put up tinfoil in the windows of a van.
Oh, I love
They
that.
have and the tape and like the
And
spray
all the
paint and
tape,
shit.
and like they're so disorganized. And he's been around. He fought for the South in the Civil War. Did you
They
guys
lost.
miss that?
That was a-
They lost.
No,
they're-
I did not.
Not
That was a
only
great
that,
line.
before he says that, he's got like a Confederate flag on the back of the driver's seat. And then he has it in a couple other scenes where they're like in a hotel room. He's got like one like draped over. It's like, oh, yeah.
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 This
That was a funny line.
this movie had a lot of good, like, I don't know, costume design and like character design. And as silly as like the names are, like, I can tell you right now that what you remember 3 characters from Lost Boys. You know what I mean?
I didn't just watch it this week.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, like, overall, like, you walk away with like what's his name? I want to say Michael
Caleb?
Douglas, which is super not right. Who's
No,
Lost Boy?
Keith-
Kiefer Sutherland.
Sutherland.
Kiefer Sutherland is like the vampire that you remember, right?
Oh, totally.
I feel like all of these vampires were memorable. Like they were good characters. Like you might not have liked them all or agreed with them all, but like Severin, badass. Homer, memorable. Diamondback, memorable. Jesse, memorable.
They had a good dynamic. They weren't. None of them were like too similar to
Yeah,
one another.
true.
To where it was boring.
No, I liked it.
Yeah, you got Wild Card, Mom, Dad, Gene, and
then like the nice one, like the one that's too nice to be
Yeah,
a vampire,
May.
kind of May.
yeah,
Yeah, it was good.
great family dynamic.
Yeah.
Well, that's like kind of the whole bit of the story, though, right?
It
Like,
is.
We are family because none of us have family.
So they abduct Caleb and basically train him in the vampire ways and give him a week to get with
Learn
the
how to
program, or they'll kill him. And they also say something weird like, "We're gonna kill you, but you can't die." Can you imagine how much that hurts? So I don't know what they're talking about. I thought they were gonna push him out in the sun, but it made it sound like they're gonna like decapitate him and he would just be alive, but like until eternity or something like that. Like, what is that?
They just leave his head somewhere alive.
Yeah, they like bury him alive, and
Like
he's just stuck in
Futurama.
he's stuck in a coffin for 1,000,000 years.
He had one of the little things.
Yeah.
But they and this whole time, and I did not care for this B plot where Dad and Sarah are like driving around the country because he's a veterinarian. I first thought he was a farmer. I was like, he's just gonna leave the farm for like months on the road and take his 9-year-old daughter or 6-year-old daughter, however old she is.
Yeah, I didn't like Sarah, really.
I didn't like any of that plot. Like, what is that?
I thought we could have done without all of that, but I mean, that was... Honestly, there's not a ton of plot in this movie if you take that out. That was
Yeah,
the vehicle.
that's-
Like, they're definitely the protagonists.
It's mostly just like mediocre chemistry between May and Caleb.
And then, like, a lot of talk about, like, tractor trailer driving.
Yeah, I did like that bit. You're gonna
Did
be
you?
sick? Yeah, like the whole, I don't know, just his whole scene, him like trying to like be nice and genuine to them and like picking them up, and he just can't kill.
Well, but he's also, like, trying to figure out how to... They want to, like, get that trailer.
Do they?
Yeah, because he's asking him, he's like, so how do you drive
yeah.
this?
I thought he was just making conversation to like kill time.
Well, he's going to kill him, right? That's the whole
Right.
point. And my thought was, because remember they needed a new, because they burned down
Home.
their RV.
Right.
And my thought was they have this trailer, the back of it's going to be completely sheltered from light, and they can do their vampire shit in there, and they have a vehicle to move across the country. But, so this movie, all three of us saw this for the first time, right? None of us seen it?
Nope.
I don't know exactly what I expected, and I do a pretty good job sheltering myself from like spoilers and
Right.
adverts. But and even knowing that I had no real idea of what I was going into, I didn't expect what I got. Not in a good way or a bad way. It's just I didn't know it would be like mostly bouncing from like pool hall to fucking tractor cab to hotels and not really go anywhere. It was like decidedly less vampire-y than I thought, because like there was not a lot of interaction with the outside world outside of just these like insulated incidences where mostly everybody dies, right? Like
Right.
they clean out. There was no like, oh, the vampires of fucking New Mexico. I think they're like in Oklahoma, actually. Like between Texas and Oklahoma, they're going back and forth because
Yeah.
Caleb lives in
Okay.
Fit, Oklahoma, or some shit like that.
Yeah, wherever.
Yeah, like
And-
it kind of like feels like it could just be a van of psychopaths just traveling around killing people. Like usually in vampire movies like this, there's people actively trying to like hunt or kill the vampires.
Yeah, there's no like
and
cleric
there's
or vampire hunter, fucking
right,
Van
it's-
Helsing
they're
type of
kind
character.
of just
No.
like doing their thing, and like you said, like for as long as they must have been doing it, they are very disorganized.
Yeah, they're like kind of shitbags, and at first I don't like because like they're vampires. They should be somewhat powerful and smart
Sexy.
and like clever and like all that. But I like the idea of them all kind of being like shitbag meth addicts that are like driving around like stolen vehicles. Like he can't even remember that he was at that hotel like 50 years ago or what. Like he doesn't have any plan, or like they're constantly running from daylight because they don't know where they are, where they're headed.
Well, that's kind of refreshing, though, right? Because
Yeah.
I mean,
They don't have like an enclave or anything.
Yeah, I'd say they're only human, but they're not.
Yeah, like if it was like another fucking just really affluent, nice dressed vampires in like huge castles,
Like a la
being like,
Jerry
God,
Dandridge.
Well, I mean, come on. Don't mention his name.
If Lance Henriksen was chomping down apples, would that make this movie better?
It wouldn't have made it worse, but maybe it would have, because then I would have been like,
Like,
this
who
guy's
this guy think he
yeah,
is?
who the fuck do you
He's like
think you are?
chewing on beef jerky, like tearing at it.
Dude, I think you summed it up perfectly, like when you said fucking meth heads. Like, these dudes are eating like hot mamas and pickled eggs at the local fucking dive bar. Like,
Well, the human equivalent of hot dogs with pickled eggs, which is bar flies.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like they never talk about it, but I mean, I could even imagine that, obviously there's way more vampires around, and maybe they're just like the group that is kind of like ostracized because they are like that. They're like dumb and fucking just want to go crazy and go town to
They're
town.
kind of reckless,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, they put
And
the
that's why they have
community
to-
at risk.
They know
Yeah.
Frank Reynolds. Like, that's what we're
Oh.
talking about here.
Yeah. Like, they are super haphazard, right?
Like
Yeah.
I would party with them, like at the bar.
If they
like
weren't
that
gonna
shit
eat
would
you?
have been tight
Yeah.
I
to
don't
be a
know.
part of,
Be fucking dead at the end. It's not
It's
the
a
worst
cool
thing.
way to die.
or to kill someone.
Yeah.
Bleed me, feed me. That's what I always say. You've heard me say
You
that.
said that. Yeah,
you've
said
heard
it
me
a
say
lot.
that.
said
Yeah.
that. You said
yeah,
that.
Yeah.
I do want to talk about the clerk at the motel.
Yeah.
Because he looked like Ebenezer.
I was
Ebenezer
gonna
Scrooge.
say, he had the stub of candle and his long hat and nightgown.
That shit cracked me up when he walked out in that like long light blue fucking.
Which
I think he had a matching cap
he
on.
had a
too.
matching cap, but it's like, what is it? 6 a.m. Like, the sun is out. Like, I know they're vampires and stuff, but like, it's very bright. It's not like dawn or anything. Like, the sun is out.
Yeah, I mean, it's UV rays that fuck you up. Like, the sun doesn't need to be high noon, right?
Well, apparently
Yeah.
it kind of
In this movie, it
sort
seemed like
of.
it did.
I mean, we do see the one of the kills in the last part of the movie with Homer.
That
which
shit
is,
was actually awesome.
which is great and like makes up for a lot of what I didn't like about this movie. But yeah, I don't know. They get to Ebenezer Scrooge's bungalows, which I guess I didn't know what a bungalow was, but it's basically just like a cabin, but it's like
Yeah.
modern, right? It's
Yeah.
like enough for a single group of
Those were
people.
definitely bungalows. I don't know if I would have went in and asked for a bungalow so boldly like Jesse did, but I might have said, "Can I have a room? I would want one of your bungalows, sir."
If your heyday was the 1860s, maybe you'd ask for a bungalow.
Possibly that could be a big factor here.
I did like he kind of had like high-waisted overalls, like a Confederate or like a Civil War soldier would have.
I thought he threw him over his shoulder like a Continental soldier
He did do that at a later scene, but
because his ears hung low.
Were those his ears?
I thought so. They were like
Okay.
fruit bats, right? Because they were like that funnel cone. They were moving. They had like sonar.
Yep. I would have loved a bat transformation scene in this movie.
What kind of transformation scene are you not a fan of though? You love transformation scenes.
Transformer transformation scenes.
Not an Autobot.
What?
I mean, they're like cool, but like it didn't like do much for me, you know?
Yeah, I mean it's not practical.
But yeah, if you're
effects.
turning into like a monster or like you're melding
Mormon.
Sure.
I've seen that over
I've
time.
seen
It's
that
very
too.
slow.
Oh, I
It's-
thought about like growing slacks out of your like skin or something.
No, you just like stop drinking chocolate, milk, and coffee, and things like that.
you just stop drinking chocolate.
Yeah.
We get one of our favorite things
So,
at the motel. What do we love here at the why do I want to say at the lounge?
the bungalow.
No, but I'm talking about us as a group, and for some
Oh,
reason I
the-
wanted to
oh,
call us
that's the elm tree.
lounge.
Under the elm tree.
Yeah.
We get a dead cop.
Yep. Dead cop.
God.
Is that guy like a character actor? I feel like he's really familiar. He might just look like most cops, and he was typecasted.
I don't remember what he looked like.
He looked like a dumb piece of shit. He probably had glasses and a mustache. So
He didn't. He had like short cropped hair and receding hairline. He's a kind of heavy set guy.
Sounds like a cop.
Bird bath? He's
Bird
not
bath?
bird bath, is he?
He
No,
could
we would have
be.
recognized. We would have recognized.
Do you? Would you?
No. No, I would not have recognized him at all. He could have been the main character of the movie.
He could have been the main character.
And I would have been like, who the fuck is this jackwagon? I've never seen him in a movie ever.
Jack wagon?
Yeah.
But yeah, the bird stomach effect was cool from the shotgun on the cop.
That was cool.
Yeah.
That was cool. And then he's all, oh, yeah, those people aren't normal, Caleb. Normal people don't spit bullets back at you when you shoot them.
That was pretty cool.
That was Caleb's dad when he was rescuing him.
Jesse gets shot and then ends up like spitting the bullet out. That's just movie cool, man.
It was cool.
It was cool.
We're all over the place with this fucking movie, and this plot was really loose. So basically, they're on the run, and Caleb's dad and sister are trying to fucking hunt him down, and Caleb's trying to figure out how to be a fucking vampire, and that's mostly the movie. It just takes place in these shithole truck stop towns in between Texas and Oklahoma. But I mean, it's cool lore and decent enough effects, and Bill Paxton does wreck house at a whole fucking bar. What has he got, like switchblades in his fucking boots or some shit?
He has spurs. He's wearing like spurs on it because he gives one to Caleb.
Yeah, but I mean, he's using like the toe of his boot, I thought.
No. He's using the spur on the. But he was like kicking like crazy roundhousing. No, but Diamondback has a switchblade that she slices the waitress's throat open.
Oh, that was actually badass.
After Lance was super creepy and like really great in that scene where he's like dancing around with her and they're talking mad shit. And
just give me the glass. He orders a beer, but he just wants the glass.
He just wants the glass.
That was a fucking weird flex, but it was like good. I liked it.
This scene too, like big,
get the blood in it.
Dusk Till Dawn energy, right? Like kind of like crazy bedlam in the bar, but no foot stuff.
Oh my god!
So you're missing out on that. But it's mostly like Caleb being a whiny bitch about not wanting to be a vampire, and then he like gets cured, kind of. He like tells his dad, because this is the insane part. Their dad and Sarah are driving all over the country because the police are shit at their jobs, accurate, and end up staying at the same bungalow that no, because the bungalow gets shot up and they escape.
Drive the van
because
through it.
Caleb like runs through all the sun.
He
with
like proves his worth.
Yeah, and he's on fire and
that was a cool scene.
And crushed it through the bungalow. Yeah, that was a good scene.
It wasn't necessarily like a great piece of cinema or excellent
writing. For this movie, it was fun.
It was pretty badass.
And they get to like the hotel and it's late at night, and again they seem to drive all day effortlessly, but need to then stop and sleep. And Sarah is at the candy machine, the vending machine outside, like 5 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what the fuck?
And Homer finds her.
Homer comes out and finds her, and he's all like, kind of like wanting to take her back and like, I don't know, play with her, eat her, both. And she's like, "Why are you at?" He's like, "I do what I want,
when I want,
when I want." And he takes her back to, she's like, "You want to watch TV?" Like, is it color TV? He's like, "Yeah." And they go back to watch color TV, and it's like literally after broadcast had ended, and they're playing the national anthem, and it's like a flag blowing in the wind, which is what they used to do instead of having just like infomercials. Just play that. Yeah.
God, I'm so glad I wasn't alive for that. Is that real?
Yeah, that's totally real.
Fuck America. Fuck patriotism. Fuck thinking that where you're born is the best place just because you were born there. That's it. Just want a quick disclaimer. Any of you patriots out there, fucking tug my bag.
You heard it here first. Tug his bag. Hashtag tug that bag.
Tug his bag. That's a shirt. Put it on the store, 13thelm.com/store.
Tug my bag and hashtag paint my taint. We're full of great ideas, Elmers. If you don't already know, you're hearing it now. Caleb immediately recognizes his baby sister and freaks the fuck out. And then there's kind of like a chase kidnapping thing that goes on until morning. And then they're all on fire in the Cadillac.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah. And then Caleb explodes running away, basically. Right?
Caleb explodes?
No, not Caleb. Homer,
yeah.
The kid, the child, the dirty-mouthed, foul-mouthed child.
Yeah, which was a cool-ass scene. It was like a little dated. Like you could see where they like added the fire,
Yeah. Right, instead of burning a child alive.
But yeah, it was fucking cool. I liked how it was just like slow-mo daylight. Music was on point. Sound was on point. He's just burning alive. That was pretty badass. That was like when you were saying the most badass scene in the movie was in the bar. I think this was the most badass scene in the movie.
Really?
Dude, it was fucking tight.
This scene was cool.
It was
the bar
cool,
is
but-
so much fun, though.
Oh, yeah.
So many great lines.
More deaths.
More deaths.
But how many of them were kids? Exploding fucking kid.
Well,
I'm not saying that your opinion's
technically-
wrong. I'm just saying get visual. I don't care what the technicalities are. Give me the visual of a
Kid on
burning
fire.
child who
Child.
explodes in front of his family. That gets big ups from me. The only thing would have been better if he was like a junior cadet, like if he was a little police
A
child.
little ROTC kid.
Yeah, like a little ROTC kid blowing up would have
What
been.
about a Boy Scout? Would a Boy Scout be all right?
No,
That's
flaming
good
Boy
as a
Scouts.
cadet,
That's just
but-
too. It's cliche.
That's allowed now.
I did love the blood transfusion shit though. That
Give
was,
me a transfusion, Pop.
Yeah, just
I mean, I hated it because it was like moving towards like a happy ending, but like the idea of it was good. It would have been cool if it like fucked up some like Howard West type of
Right.
way. You know what I mean?
So I guess if you only feed on other vampire blood for a week, but not a human, and don't kill anybody, and then get a transfusion of your father's blood, then you are cured of vampirism.
Yeah, but he also cured May. Spoiler alert: we're already there.
That's
Who cares?
true.
Yeah.
I guess it is like you have to just take vampire blood.
You just have to know
Or-
a good fucking like
His dad-
ranch vet.
his dad's blood is just fucking insane.
full of antibodies from all the veterinary work he's done.
Well, I think he was huffing it, right?
Huffing
The
what?
animals?
Animal antibodies. He was hopped up on heifer.
Right.
Yeah.
I think canonically he invented insulin.
Well, yeah, because he's also been around since the Civil War. He's just not a
Right.
vampire. He's like the Doctor Who cattle herder.
He's like a daywalker.
We need to. I think our biggest problem here is we're struggling with like just general vampire lore. We need to watch more vampire movies to know what we're talking
am
about.
in favor of this motion. I second it.
Yeah, I would like
Take it to a vote.
Yep. I.
Aye.
Nay.
Ooh,
The ayes have it.
Damn it.
That means, unfortunately, now you also now have to always pick a vampire movie.
Yep.
It's
What are
the
we
only
watching?
way to like substantially get our numbers up.
Ooh, it's not gonna happen. Sorry to spoil, but yeah. But then what? May turns up. 'Cause
Yeah.
she's like has feelings and shit, which is like kind of lame for a vampire. But
I mean, it's all right in the right circumstance, but yeah, she's kind of boring and like kind
yeah,
of a
but I
Mary
mean,
Sue.
like Mykel said, like I mean, I don't think anybody here is like a fan of a happy ending.
No,
Well,
not really.
in
not,
horror.
not in horror
Um,
or in general.
So
I
yeah,
want
she
people
just
to
gets
fail.
a fucking
Yeah, me too.
blood transfusion too.
She gets the blood transfusion, Caleb, and is cured. And they, what it's like the movie ends, kind of them like embracing each other, right?
Yeah.
Um,
They're like in
Yeah.
the daylight, and he's like, "Look with your eyes. It's just the sun. It won't hurt you anymore." And it's
don't be
like,
afraid. It's just the sun.
Yeah. It's like whatever.
Would have been better if she exploded.
We do get that truck explosion
Yeah.
True.
to kill Severin,
Yes.
Right?
Severin.
Go.
because we learn. I don't remember who says it, but something about how you have to break a truck, and it's like you got to do this break
The
first.
Truck driver.
Yeah.
You got to break the trailer first
first.
before the cab.
Or you
otherwise,
jackknife.
Yeah,
and then
so that's what he
no
does.
more driver.
So that was like kind of
Yeah, it was good.
Chekhov's trailer.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's what I would have called it. That's what it was.
That's what it was.
so he uses that method to make the truck hit itself and explode, which was cool.
I don't know, man. For me, this was like middle of the road vampire movie with some cool effects, some memorable scenes, performances. It wasn't great, but like if I was trying to go back through all the vampire movies we've watched on this podcast, and it's probably right there near the middle. Like it's not as good as 20. God damn it,
Can
30
never get it right.
30 Days a Night,
40 days a night.
and it's not as good, or it's not as bad as Van Helsing, right?
What about Fright Night? How's it compared to
I
Fright
enjoyed
Night?
this more than Fright Night.
Oh, I didn't like that.
I enjoyed Fright Night more.
No, you didn't.
Yes, you did.
I watched it with you. You hated it. You kept looking at me, waiting for it to end. How
I
many
did
characters do you
not.
hate as much as Evil Ed?
I did not really like this movie.
How many
Well,
bar
don't worry.
massacres?
We'll watch
massacre
Fright Night
scenes were there?
again this year, and you guys can see how you feel.
We will.
Oh yeah,
What the
Halloween Blitz.
royal we?
yeah, the royal we.
Okay, what about Blade?
Great movie.
Blade's better.
Yeah, I think I would agree, but I like this more
Even
than
with
Fright
the
Night.
fucking crazy plot and all the weird shit.
Rob
that
picked
ended
all
up
of these
being in
movies I
Blade.
mentioned, which were 5, and like I feel like there's more, but I think that might be it.
I think that's
It's like dead center for me, honestly.
yeah.
It's 3 of 5.
Yeah, it's definitely not towards the top. I thought it was kind of boring, to be honest.
But it's quick, at least too. It wasn't like fucking Van Helsing. It's like an
Jesus
hour
Christ,
shorter than
yeah,
Van
thank
Helsing.
God. Yeah, it was a 90-minute, right?
Yeah,
like
94
128 and 94, something like that. Yeah.
But yeah, I did not like the ending.
Dude, if the ending would have been more morbid, would you think you would have scored it higher? We haven't got there yet, but like
Absolutely,
scored
yeah.
it higher or at least enjoyed it more. Because
Yeah.
like my enjoyment of the movie went as flat as it went in the final couple scenes with like May's transformation. I was like, this is fucking lame.
When the blood transfusion on Caleb worked was when I was like, yeah, this is just not it. But I had some hopes there. I thought, which I don't know if this really would have made sense either, but I thought the blood transfusion, they would have had some weird like and it would have like made it worse. And I was like, oh, maybe he'll like freak out and kill his dad and his sister and May and then himself or something.
Kathryn Bigelow doesn't make movies that I'm necessarily attracted to, and this is the one that I did want to see, and I'm glad
Well,
I did.
I mean,
She did Point Break.
yeah,
she
she's
did
known for like war movies.
Jarhead and The Hurt Locker.
Oh,
She won. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's like Academy Award winning Best Director,
Yeah, I think Hurt Locker got Best Picture.
Best Picture, and Best Director. She fucking cleaned up. She's,
Hell yeah.
she's pretty powerful
Did
Hollywood
you see that
woman.
movie? Hurt Locker?
Nope.
I thought it was fine.
I saw Jarhead.
I don't know.
Jake
if I've seen that.
Gyllenhaal.
Jake Gyllenhaal. That's another war
yeah.
movie.
Yeah,
I haven't seen
I
that.
know. I haven't seen that one.
You know, it might shock some of you, but I'm not rushing out to see any fucking
War
American
movies?
propaganda bullshit.
Yeah, I'm not into
Give me
that.
some like nice like 1950s World War II shit, and it's like I can kind of look at it as like a case study or a period piece.
You like Apocalypse Now?
It's still the same thing. No, it's Vietnam in 70s and Coppola. I think it's actually 80, but like still, that's fucking.
Movie's fucking
that's great.
awesome.
And like Platoon, I love the movie
Platoon is
Platoon.
good.
Like
Yeah.
there are plenty of instances of war movies, but it's like you're not gonna catch me sleeping out watching fucking American Sniper on opening
No,
night.
that shit's
and
fucking
shit.
lame.
Yeah. But you know, whatever. I heard Hurt Locker's really good, and from like a direction standpoint and sound editing and stuff, it obviously won a lot of awards. She's
Yeah.
a very accomplished director, and this movie was kind of on the front end of what she was doing behind the camera in Hollywood. But I think that you see some good themes and.
Did you see who did the soundtrack?
Oh yeah, Tangerine Dream.
Yeah.
Soundtrack was fucking badass, dude. I love Tangerine Dream. That shit is hot, boy.
Hot boy.
There was better soundtrack than Cat People.
That I don't know about that. I don't know about
Bill?
that.
Bill, you hated both. Be a impartial judge here.
Cat People.
Was better
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
the film or the soundtrack or both?
Soundtrack. And
and maybe the film.
I don't know.
Damn, I am gonna be
Cat People
really
was
surprised.
not good.
Last week when we did Astro Monster, I rated it the lowest, and I'm starting to get a real strong feeling that I'm about to rate
This
this
the
the
highest?
highest of the three of us.
That might be true.
I don't know. I feel like Rob is. Actually, I don't know.
Yeah, but he's got like a handicap. Like if I'm within 10, if I'm
vampire
no, I mean
handicap?
like like a scoring handicap. Like if I'm within 10 of Rob, that's like objectively I'm rating
Right
it higher.
there.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he starts on like I'm going from a 0 to 100. Rob's going from like a 45 to 100 just because it's vampires. This movie fucking sucked. I hated it. 69.
78.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, do you guys have any other notes?
I mean, this movie didn't have a whole lot to dive into,
really
to be
wasn't.
honest.
No, it definitely like wasn't very deep. It is what it is, which is fine. Like I said, it was kind of refreshing to have a different take on vampires to where they're, constantly on the run, like a crew of bandits.
Yeah, it was like a
instead of
fugitive
just-
type of setup. Yeah,
instead
they're
of just
super
being in
methy.
a fucking castle and turning into bats and
Like
you know, having
steal
sexy
cars. Yeah.
wives and shit. But I did not really like it though.
That's fair.
I just didn't. It was kind of boring. I didn't like the ending. There was some cool effects. Bar scene was awesome. The blood transformation stuff or transfusion stuff was just dumb.
Yep.
Yep.
Agree. I do agree.
I
with
mean,
that.
I don't know what else to say about that.
What would you rate it?
A 60.
Okay.
I was gonna give it a 69.
Nice.
That's it? Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't know. I want to like this movie, but I'm just not that crazy about it either. Like I also thought it was like really boring for long stretches. And I like the characters. Like I like like the family of vampires, and they're like you guys said, they're all like kind of distinct. I don't know how much I'll remember of them in a year from now. Probably remember like Bill Paxton's character, whose name I've already forgotten. Severin. And the bar scene's great, and exploding child on fire, amazing. Like there's good points to this movie, and the soundtrack was decent. Like Tangerine Dream's cool, you know, points for that. Yeah. But I don't really see myself like rewatching this movie.
No.
I probably wouldn't
see
I'm
myself like recommending this movie either. Like maybe to like people that are like, oh, I love horror, like I love vampire movies. I'm like, oh, have you seen?
but
Near
that's
Dark?
you, and you're not in love with it.
Just
I was
me.
about to say, I would recommend this to you.
Yeah, and I would be like, oh, it was all right. So yeah, I'd say like probably like a 58, like a
Get the
55.
fuck
Because
outta
like
here.
usually like 50 is where I'm like, I'm not gonna watch this movie again. If it's a 50 or lower, I'm not watching this movie. But like, it gets a few points for being a vampire movie. So, you know, you called it.
Amazing. That's strange, but it's fun, and I'm glad I watched it because it's one that's been on the radar for a long time. And you know, we lost Bill Paxton not too long ago, and it was fun to see one. This is one of his like iconic roles, really. Like, obviously he'd go on to have a long career and great success, but this was one of the first ones to put him on the map. I think this is just after Weird Science, which would have been like his first
The
role.
breakout.
Yeah. But this was fun. I liked it. I like Lance Henriksen. I like Tangerine Dream. Probably won't go back to it.
Yeah. Agreed.
I almost wish that like either this was longer, not like movie, like a mini series where they could do more and like do more like things on the road and visit more
Town to
locales.
town type of shit.
Yeah, and have like more of a plot and get through with all the love story shit and not even have the transfusion like Caleb just becomes a fucking vampire. Like I'd rather watch that or watch it like more bar scene, more gory, but just what we got was
Yeah.
disappointing. What are we watching next week, Mr. Beal?
BDB.
I don't know yet, actually. So this always stresses me out. So I have a list of 10 possible.
Can you narrow that down to 2 or 3?
Well, hold
Let's
on.
do 10 and take a vote. There's only 3 of us. It should be real fucking
I
efficient.
don't think Bill gets a
Can I
vote.
finish? I have a random number generator, and I'm just gonna hit it 3 times because there's 3
Ooh,
of us.
do you want a D10? I can give you a D10. You want to roll it? A D10?
How quickly? Because that
It's
would
right
be
over
more
there.
fun.
Go get that basket.
I know where
Mykel,
it is.
would you do the honors? While he's grabbing the D10, it's a pretty. I mean, there's a little bit of everything on here. There's giallo, there's 80s camp,
Yes.
there's Japanese blood splatter.
Okay.
There's like new stuff that's supposed to be good. So it could really be anything, but it's gonna be
Number 2,
number 2,
which is
Feast.
oh my god, that's great.
This is one that we've talked about
Yeah, I've
before.
not seen this.
Wanting
I
to
haven't
see.
seen it either. So maybe I shouldn't say it's great, but I'm excited.
Early 2000s gory creature feature. It's supposed to be real good.
That's awesome
Yeah.
because I was really wanting to pick this next, but I have something else planned out already for next week, and it wasn't going to be this, and I didn't want to wait like 3 weeks to see it.
Yeah.
So
I hope
that's
there's
great pick.
enough substance to this for us to talk about, and it's not just a vehicle for violence. But I mean, we do love those as well.
At the very least, though, like a creature feature vehicle for violence is like if you can give us something to chew on with like the character, like creature design.
Or just chew on the characters.
Yeah.
And it's like it's all. I mean, from what I've seen, it's like all practical effects and lots of great gore and stuff. So
Yeah.
It's supposed to have great gore, which
Yeah,
gets me
I think
excited.
I always hear this movie like mention the same breath as The Descent, like The Descent and Feast. Yeah.
I'm fine with that. I like that movie a lot. So
Yeah, me too.
yeah, Feast.
Nice.
2005.
You guys ever listen to Feist?
Fergie?
Yeah.
Is Feist the one that has that song? It's like 1, 2, 3, 4. Tell me
Yeah.
if you love me more.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one song.
She's in this.
Is
In
she?
what?
In
In Feast? Really?
She
Fe-
plays.
Feist is in
She
Feast?
plays the
Feist is in
creature.
Feast.
She plays the creature.
Yeah.
We'll get into it next week.
Okay.
All right.
Well, thank you, Elmers.
Thank you, Elmers.
Elmers.
Don't forget about that offer about being locked in an apartment and killed by
I kind
Mykel.
of forgot about that.
All three of us, I thought.
Yeah. I'm busy that week.
It's like a lease. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be like where we live.
If you kill one,
Oh.
if you kill one, I'll do the second one.
Fuck yeah, that's
You got
sick.
third?
Okay, but only if we can go to Egypt while your dad cleans it up.
Oh,
If anybody dad cleaning it up, it should be the scientist, right?
Yeah.
Like,
He
he
knows
knows-
qualified.
He knows how to get rid of like
aseptic technique.
brains
he's got
and shit,
the
right?
chemicals. Yeah, that's what he,
He knows
does.
Fauci.
Yeah, he could probably help.
Yeah. We could get Fauci on the line.
He's good at
Oh,
covering
Tony?
up and
Tony.
Tony, yeah. Why didn't you just say Tony? Who the fuck, Fauci?
Well, I think we're talking about my cat at this point.
I do love your cat.
Okay, who has more teeth, me or Tony?
You, but by a lot.
But it ain't pretty.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, whatever.
That's the show.
Tony has like a gaping like mouth pussy with no teeth.
Where do you go from there?
Are we still talking about Fauci? I don't know now.
Yep.
Oh, these fucking
Okay.
cat
boys.
stories are getting out of hand. We should wrap this up before we get ourselves pulled off the air.
The FCC.
This is live. This is streaming live.
You can't stop me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, pull up with us, watch two films. Come on, watch two